Hello friends, today is the 18th day of our online intensive, and from today we are entering the social dimension. As we already talked earlier that in order to create the ecology of happiness we will need to create a balance on all three dimensions. So until now we have explored the personal dimension, the individual dimension, where we explore the things we need to do within us, for example needs and values, and um, our ability to deal with reactions, or how to react positively in certain situations. So this is all about correcting our own self. But then if we are going to live in this world, uh, every nook and corner we are going to meet people, we are going to connect with people. So unless we learn, unless we have the right way to connect with the world, I don't think it's possible to be happy, because the world, people around us, they play a very big role in our life. They give meaning to our life. So this is where uh, relating to the world or relating to other people is very, very important. Uh, the personal dimension is about I. The social dimension is about I, then there is another I, and then there is another I, and then there are 7 billion eyes on the world. I, capital I, me. So it is about when one I meets another I, and how they can relate or what they can do. Fine. Today I want to share with you only one insight, only one idea. But I believe that this one idea uh, could change our perspective, how we relate with the world. So instead of stuffing this video with lots of things, just one single idea. So what is this idea? Well, this, there is this word in English, relationships, right? I would like to do something. I would like to play with this word, correct it, to add something in this word, and create a new word and give a new meaning to that word, because that's how things really are. So instead of relationships, I would like to make it relationships. What I call the first step in social dimension is going from relating with people, going from relationships to creating relationships. That means relationships based on reality. Okay, let's start with an experiment. At this moment, I want you to think about some person, one person whom you like very much. Maybe this person is from your family, or maybe your best friend. Uh, Please take a moment. If needed, I am having a pause here. Take a moment. Think about this person whom you like very much. Okay, enough time to think about one person. Now at this moment, uh, I want you to notice that when you think about this one person, what came to your mind? What kind of an image or a picture or a visual came to your mind? Most probably, you would have had some kind of image or some kind of a picture or a visual about that person in your mind when you think about this person, right? Okay. Now, forget that person for a moment and think about someone whom you really dislike. It's okay to dislike people. Sometimes people, we don't have to like everyone and everything in this world. So it's okay. But I believe every one of you have someone whom you really, really dislike for whatever reasons. But take a moment again, I'm going to take a pause. Think about a person whom you really dislike. Okay, enough of time for that. Now that you already thought about this person, I want you to consider once again, remember once again, what kind of an image or a visual came to your mind when you thought about this person? For a moment, I just want you to remember. I just want you to remember two different images. One image or one visual about the person whom you like very much. Another image about the person whom you dislike very much. Okay? Nothing to do. Just remember these two images. We will come back to them later on. So, what I mean by going from relationships to relationships, that is relationships based on reality, is this one thing. Everyone here on this planet, we do not relate to the person. We relate to the person's image that we have in our head. So for example, anytime you think about, like you have an image about a person whom you dislike, a thought about a person you dislike comes, suddenly some negative reaction inside of you will come. Every time you will think about a person whom you like very much, or just randomly a thought comes, there will be automatically a smile. Now what I am trying to say is that instead of relating to the real person, somehow at some point we start relating to the image of that person we hold in our head, in our mind. Let's see how this works. When you meet someone for the first time, a person whom you have never met before, and a person about whom you have never heard before from anyone, then you are blank. So when you meet this person, that meeting, the content of that meeting, how the meeting was good, bad, how that person made you feel, depending on how that person makes you feel, you create an image. Or maybe not, you don't create consciously, but somehow this image is formed and stored in your mind, in your mind's library. Now you might meet this person another time, and then another time, like several times. So each time you meet, depending on how that person, that meeting with that person makes you feel inside, that image gets modified. For example, if the person makes you feel very good, the image that you have is of that person in a good mood who makes you laugh. So somehow your mind will filter out common experiences, and based on those it will create one modified image. So the situation is like, you have a computer. In your computer you have different programs. For example, you have Microsoft Word, you have browsers to go to the internet, right? So you have different programs, but every time you need a program, you don't go to the program inside the computer. You have something we call icon. An icon is an image that represents the entire program. So you don't have to run the entire program. You just click on the icon. You find the icon, you click on the icon, and the program starts working. The images that we have in our mind about different people, these images are also like icons. So there are images of people we consider who made us feel good. These are the positive icons. So when when you click that, like when that image comes in our mind, a positive program runs, we feel good, and our relation to that person is based on that image. And the same is about negative people, like the negative icons. So basically our relations with people are not based on people right now, right here in this moment, but based on the icons of those people we have in our mind. Now I'll give you a real life example. Not far from, not long ago, I think in April, I was flying out of Moscow on the Sheremetyevo airport, and there was a man like with beard, big beard, and he was also waiting there. And I just sat there. He was in the corner, so I just went there, and there was space, so I sat there. And I was like normal. I looked at this man, he was a bit unusual with a little bit unusual clothing, but that's all. I just looked at it and finished. But then people started coming, like because we were early, like 2.5 or 3 hours earlier than plane. Then people started coming, and I noticed that when Russians came near him, they were looking at him with awe, some kind of wow kind of. And in the beginning, I couldn't figure out. I thought something is wrong with me because I was sitting next to him, and I thought why they are looking at me? But then over a period, I realized that they are looking at him and not me, and maybe this is some guy whom everybody recognizes. Now, I didn't know this guy. I didn't recognize him. But later in the flight, we were going in the same flight. He sat in the business class. I was in the economy class, and I saw when he went there in the economy, he took out, there was a crown, like a man, and he put a crown on his head. He was some Russian singer, and probably famous one because many people recognized him. But my point is this, you see, for people who knew him, he was a celebrity. So for them, when they saw him, they were like, wow, like this is some guy, like maybe they wanted his autograph or something. Now I didn't know this guy, and for me he was just another person sitting next to me, rather a strange guy, rather a strange looking guy, maybe a creep looking guy with his beard and his dressing and everything. But my point is, why someone, just someone like me, doesn't even care if he's sitting next to me, and other people, they kind of, they are in his air, they are in his aura, like they feel attracted to him, and they are waiting to have a glimpse of him. The reason is because over the period, the people who react in that manner, they have seen him performing on the stage, and for them he is a celebrity. Now, when you know someone, like, even if you are not interactive, you form an image of that person in your head. So, I had no image. So since I had no image, I see him as just a person next to me. But other people, they were not seeing the person, because if they saw the person, they would be also like, okay, here is some strange guy, and okay, maybe I know this strange guy, and then they will go away. But no, they were coming here, standing, looking at him in awe, and kind of waiting that maybe he will look at them, So they were waiting his attention. For them, he was a celebrity. But where was he celebrity for them? Not in real life, in the head. Because they were relating not to the person, but to the image of the person. I was relating to the person because I had no image of that person. Now have you noticed, anytime if you see a celebrity on the street, most people will go crazy, like, oh my God, I saw Julia Roberts here and Tom Cruise here. But if someone doesn't know Tom Cruise, for them he is just another guy. So that is why Indians react to Indian celebrities. But if you will see an Indian celebrity walking in your town, for you it is just another guy. And celebrities from your country, if I meet them or other Indians would meet them, when we don't recognize them, for us they are just simple people. That is because we don't have any icon of that person in our head. And the reactions, the reason why people react that way is because the relationship is not based on who the person is right now in this moment, but the reaction is based on, or the response or the relation is based on the icon in the head. And that, my friends, is the reason in most of the problems of relationships. What is generation gap? Generation gap, like when a child reaches about teenage and we see that there is some conflict with the parents, right? So why does that happen? That simply happens because for many years the parents, they have a hardened image of the child in their head, and they are, every time they see that child, even if now the child is a 15-year-old or 16-year-old boy or a girl, but because you have seen him growing from a tiny little creature into this one, for you he's still, the image is still of someone, a child rather. So because you behave in that manner and the child doesn't feel like a child anymore, the child is alive, he's growing, he's changing every moment, but he's not changing every moment in your mind. So that is why the conflict. And in most cases the conflict stops after teenage, because by the time this teething, it's a teething problem, there is a period of adjustment when there are corrections in your mind about the image of this child, and over a period it takes like several years until this image is changed, until you come to an acceptance that he is an adult now, and then now you have an image of an adult and you behave with him like an adult. Some parents, they never change that image, so they will always try to control you. We have a lot of things to talk about relationship with children, with parents, and with family members and friends in the coming days. But today's topic was primarily about this idea that most of the relationships are not based in reality, they are based in memories, because images are formed from memories. When there are more good memories than bad memories, the image is good, and that's why when we think about that person or we relate to that person in a positive manner, and the opposite is also true. That is the reason when, let's say, you have a very good friend and you like this friend very much, and then one day someone tells you that, your friend, he did this or she did this, such a horrible thing, and you are not ready to believe. You feel shocked. Why do you feel shocked when you hear about someone that they did something unusual? You feel shocked because the facts from out there in the world do not match your idea of that person, which is frozen in form of the image. So my whole point is, if you want to really relate to people, we need to stop relating to the images of people. We need to relate to the person. How do we do that? Well, next time when you are with someone, try to see, first of all, try to see what kind of an image you have about that person. Usually it is one or another kind of a visual, like a frozen visual. If the person makes you feel good, that image will be of that person smiling or making you feel good, or if the person makes you feel bad, the image will be also something similar. But next time when you meet a person, try to see what kind of image you have. Now for a moment, look at the person. I mean, actually look out there, not in here. Look at the person visually, how they look. Look at what they are wearing, look at their face. Look in the moment. Now, normally when we look at a person, it's like only 10% of attention is outside. Most of the talking happens from with the image inside. That is why, when friends say something we don't like, something shocking, it hurts us very much, because it has broken the image inside our mind, right? Now, this is the irony. The irony is that the things which we need to find inside, we are trying to find outside. For example, happiness, peace, harmony, love, acceptance. These are the things of the inner world. Unfortunately, we are trying to find them outside. And the things which are outside, we are relating to them from the inside. Like people don't live inside your mind. People live as alive beings out there in the world. So when you relate to them outside. That's why, have you seen like new relationship, when there are new relationships in the beginning phase, it is so exciting because you are relating to the person, you are relating to an alive person. After a while, it is not so interesting, or it gets sour, or whatever happens. That happens when you stop relating with the person, but the image of the person that was somehow created in your mind. Well, I know there are techniques like neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, which tells you that you can change the image from negative to positive, and from dark to bright, and from small to big, and you will change your experiences. Well, it does work, but still it is illusion, because as long as you are relating with the image, as long as your connection to other people is through an icon, you are living from the past. That is what it means, that you are living in the past, because the person is right here in front of you. That person, yes, that person, you can learn from the negative experiences of that person from the past, but you don't have to hold an image of that. You don't have to relate to that person through the image. My whole point is, all these techniques which change you, which help you to change the image so that you can feel good about that person, they are also trapped in illusion of relating through the image. Come out of the image. Come out of your mind. Now this is the high time we come out of the mind and relate with the person who is right in front of you. Look at them. Listen to the voice. Listen to the quality of the voice. I mean, notice the physical sensations that are present in this moment, and then you are relating with the person in this moment. This is what is called relationships, in my opinion. This is when you really relate to person. This is when you relate to the reality of a person. That's all for today, friends. See you tomorrow with a new video. Have a great day. Thank you very much.